All right. Hello. So I did my internship with physical education at West Shore Middle School. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Lanya. I will be attending Southern Connecticut State University in the fall, and I'll be majoring in physical education. So for my internship site, I was at West Shore Middle School. And it's a school on K Avenue, which is like around 3 minutes away. So my site supervisor, his name is Glenn Maxwell. So yeah, I graduated from West Shore in 2019, and Mr. Maxwell actually wasn't there my sixth grade year. He came my seventh grade year, the year after. I always felt like me and him were always like close. We always talked for a while, and everything, every class. Yeah, and he also coached that law, and yeah, that's him right there. He's a really good coach, actually. So some reasons I chose this site was like since I've known him for a while at this point in time, and I went to school there, and I knew he was working there, so I enjoyed every like gym class I had with him, everything like that, and I was just interested in going back to where I attended school. And I found a picture of me in Lewis actually during the 8th grade track meet, so I wanted to put that in there. So for the business of the site, I said his business, as the teacher, is to instruct students with things like physical fitness, sports, and other physical activities. And he has specific goals that he taught me that he has to achieve like every single year, him and Miss Adela. So for my expectations for this internship, I was expected to, help him for every game, set up everything. I expect to help him set up games like handball and East versus West, since we already he told us what we're going to be playing. And then I expected this to be like a very easy experience, since I feel like I've been interested in this and I've known what he's been doing. So for what I had to do, my responsibilities, I was asked to do like literally whatever he needed done. If he needed me to like set up games for the students, I would have to go in the closet, get all the games every day. If he needed help with attendance, he would give me his iPad that he has, and I have to like ask for their names to make sure I sign them in and everything. I would help him rake the sand pit and write down the score when we were doing track practices, because I came in at a time where the track meet was around the corner, and I had to, help them keep track of the score so they can make the top 10 list. Some accomplishments I feel like I understand what gym teachers actually do in a day now. I never really fully understood how it works. I learned how to have to learn each class very well, what makes them different from one another, like how young the kids are, how old they are, like misbehaviors and good behavior and all that. And I learned how to make good relationships with the younger students and like be like the best older mentor I can be, even though I'm only in high school compared to them as an actual older adult. For me, some problems I had was like students' behavior was a problem for me a bit. Like if they would act up, I wouldn't know how to take care of the situation, since like I'm not an actual teacher and I don't really know the students that well at first. If they like misbehaved, I really like don't know what I should tell them and everything like that. And yeah, knowing the schedule, because it's like completely different from like ours as like high school. So I wouldn't know which classes we had at what time and what grade would come first and everything. And then like lack of communication in the beginning of the internship, since I didn't really know the students that well and don't know what they were like and everything. Some skills I developed, I learned how to communicate with like young teens better, like compared to like elementary school. Preparation when it comes to like helping them think of different ideas to do every day. And time management was important to when getting in the internship on time. Trying to wake up early, make sure I'm on there at time so he needs anything done. Will this internship help me in the future? Yeah, I really think it will help me for many reasons. Since now that I've experienced with working, with around a real teacher. I have like a great idea what to do if I become a physical education teacher, which is like what I'm hoping to be. And for future plans, I didn't get offered a summer job, obviously, because teachers don't work in the summer. Yeah, so I plan on being a physical education major all 4 years of college, and I plan on being a physical education teacher when I graduate, hopefully a bachelor's. And then yeah, questions. Lewis.
Uh, did you have a favorite memory during this internship?
Um, I wouldn't really say like a specific memory, because like honestly, I kind of enjoy like every day. Like there wasn't like a terrible day I had. It was fun because like I'm meeting like new people every day, like different students, and like some of them I already knew because like they have like our friends. We have like younger siblings, so we knew them very well already. So it was pretty cool. Smell?
So working with the middle school population, did that confirm you'd like to work with younger students, or do you think you'd want to work with high school students?
I think I would rather middle school students, just because I feel like they listen to me better. They would listen to me better compared to like high schoolers. But yeah, I just think I would work around better with them compared to older or younger.
So did this experience really strengthen your thoughts of, okay, this is definitely what I want to do?
Yeah, I think so. Because I really enjoy what the older students were, or Mr. Maxwell was doing. And like, yeah, it seemed really fun and interesting, so.
Did you get to experience like lesson planning or coming up with your own concept of a game? Did something like that happen
Yeah,
in your internship?
I would think so, yeah, because when I first went there, I would ask him what we would do. And like since I played basketball, I was asking him if I can like run like a basketball game and stuff like that. And he said we couldn't at first because he had to follow like a lesson plan. But as it got towards the end, like our last like week, I would say, he let me and my friends help us play basketball with the kids, run basketball games. So it was pretty fun.
Can you tell me about your experience working with a total of 3 interns at one school? How was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, honestly, because, like, we got all, like, work done quicker, you know what I mean? Like, Mr. Maxwell needed, like, a big topic, or, like, help set up. There was 3 of us, so we'd get it done like that for him. So it helped him out a lot.
Okay, so obviously you've been in gym classes before, so what was the biggest, like, surprising thing you took from working with Mr. Maxwell, looking at it from a teacher point of view as opposed to a student?
How much he's moving around.
Okay.
Like, he moves around so much. Like, he has to, like, because, like, when we're outside a lot because it was really nice out. Since there's, like, 2 of them, like, there'll be kids, like, on, like, the field compared to kids on the basketball court. So he's, like, moving around, like, 24/7 because he has to watch both sides. Especially during the track meet, too. Because he has to, like, watch and track down the kids when they're doing different events.
Great job, Lenny.
Thanks, Lenny.
Thank you.
Alright, so this is my physical education internship. My name is Derek Casco-Kirkland, and I'm a senior at Jonathan Law High School. I will be attending Southern Connecticut State University for college. Right now, as of now, I'm undecided for my major, but thinking of physical education, physical therapy, or personal training as ideas that I might want to pursue in my later life. So my internship site took place at West Shore Middle School, which had been the middle school that I attended when I was younger. So going there kind of helped me, knowing that I knew the PE teachers and the teachers that were there. This helped me make my internship choices. I knew a lot of the teachers there, especially the PE teachers I interned with. I even knew some of the kids from Boys and Girls Club because we kind of see them there a lot. So, all right. So my site supervisor was Miss Adela. She's all the way on the left, next to me. But however, since the class were so large, they mixed two classes together. Since classes would be so big, there were actually two PE teachers. So Mr. Maxwell would make another, like you could say, another supervisor, and that's all five of us. The first day, right? Yeah, with Miss Adela and Mr. Maxwell, our first day of handball. All right, so I chose this site because I want to pursue some sort of physical career in physical education. Since I already work with kids, having the experience with children makes the most sense, and I like staying physical, so that'd be something I'd want to do. I knew the PE teachers from previous school years, so this made it a little bit more comfortable for me. So it's not like I'm going into an internship with someone I have no idea who it is. And even if I didn't want to be a PE teacher, the experience would give me the idea of what I would or would not want to do. So the business of physical education it's a school-based support system which helps provide cognitive skills for children, and it's basically a way for kids to stay physically active and for experience and hopefully further their experience throughout the entirety of their lives. So it's just a way to keep kids physically active and, helps them, keeps them safe and secure in a school area. So my prior expectations of the internship were to be help setting up and cleaning up activities for Mr. Maxwell and Miss Adela, and help planning activities, and just mostly just child supervising as well, making sure that the children are within the field and the gym. So my responsibilities were to make sure to set up activities for each class. This was interesting because you'd have to set up an activity, bring it inside, and then bring it out again for the next class. We're to enforce rules and make sure children are participating, so not wandering around, staying in the cubby areas for excessive amount of times. Interact with the children. This was a big one because the more comfortable they feel with you and the more comfortable you feel with them, the easier it is for your job to be done. And to make sure all activity was cleaned up and accounted for, because there were problems where we leave, where a basketball would be left outside or a tennis ball would get thrown over the school roof. So that was a big issue. So some accomplishments I was able to accomplish making sure all the kids were safe, which is pretty good. So you don't want to have a hurt child, and that would really stink. It was also being respected as if I was an actual teacher there. The respect levels were pretty good. I felt as if I was belonged there. And finally, I think that I was able to really find out if I wanted to pursue this career. And on the left there is a little note from a kid that he wrote me, and I think that was definitely one of my favorite memories there too, because he wrote some really funny stuff in there too. So if you want to read that, you could read that.
Can you read it to us?
Oh, you want me to read it to you? All
A
right.
little small,
Can't.
yeah.
Oh, I have to get on this side for that.
That's okay.
All right. So this is a kid named Owen, and he wrote, "Dear Derek, I just wanted to say hi. Also, thanks for tolerating me, however you do that, I guess. So, you've been a good role model for all the kids, 6th through 8th. The reason I chose to send you a letter is because I'm bored and I'm in language arts class. Lenny and Lewis are amazing people, but there's something about the peach fuzz on your chin that makes you different. Also, when we were playing basketball, I expect you to destroy me like 100-0 or something like that. And that all I'm writing, so thank you for taking your time reading this letter, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Love, Owen.
Oh my god.
So, I think that was a pretty cool note that I got, except the little part about peach fuzz, but he was a pretty cool kid. So, some challenges were definitely setting up track event equipment. So every single day for like a week, we have to set up cones around the entire field for like the mile, the 400, even for like the 100. So I think definitely the most time-consuming week was definitely track week. Another challenge was at first interacting with the kids was like, because it was a little awkward. We just came out of nowhere for like the last month of their school year, so they really didn't know who we were yet. But at the end of it, we ended up having some good relationships. They ended up liking us. Some of them even remembered us from when we were younger. So, and definitely waking up early in the morning. That's pretty much a problem every day when it's early in the morning. So, I would say that like working on that schedule would be something I should work on. So some developed skills I had myself were communication. So being able to talk to the kids in a friendly manner while being professional. Like some of them you become like so Boys and Girls Club, I knew some of them, and you obviously have a little closer bond because you hang out with them, you see them more often, you take care of them more often. Focus was a big one, keeping an eye on all the kids because a lot of them would like to wander. Little kids like to wander, so making sure they're not like going beyond the school fences, or if there's a truck coming in to deliver food, they're not in that area. Time management, setting up and cleaning equipment for class start and end. So making sure that the beginning of class, all the activity be set up, and by the end of the class, so no one takes anything or it's not left outside, that's brought in for the next class. And teamwork, so being able to work with 3 of my friends, helped to make sure everything is clean and organized way quicker. So it wasn't that part made it very less time consuming. It was much easier. So my internship experience, I would say that the experience I'd say I liked it, and it helped me definitely see if the choices I want to make in the future, and it also gave me this opportunity that I learned I would definitely want to work with middle school kids or up. I mean, I would definitely if I had an opportunity to work with lower kids just for a day, I guess I'd try it, but I don't know. I think working with kids a little more mature would definitely be for me. And they're pretty competitive too, so like the competitive levels were definitely much higher, so I like that. So some future advice I got from my intern supervisors were to make sure to take all required physical science classes or any internships given to you, because it will definitely help you, and it'll definitely tell you what age group you want to work with. To lesson plan in fitness groups and target skills. Like if you're doing a week of foot coordination, it would be soccer, games where you'd be using your feet, or catching and throwing would be games where you're catching footballs or baseball or something like that. Just targeting certain groups. Making sure to try all age groups, because I had the conversation with them. Is it easier to work with younger or older kids? But they said to make sure to just try it out. It's the worst thing that happens, that you just don't want to do it and it's just not for you. Staying active yourself, because a lot throughout the classes, PE teachers move a lot more than we think they do, and more than you guys definitely think they do. Get the degree that best fits your job requirements. So that'd be if you're going into I think their degree was you needed a bachelor's degree, the minimum, but if you want to work at a higher end school, I guess you have to have a better degree. So make sure to have that degree that best fits the job that you're trying to get, and to set goals for yourself. So a lot of work that they had to do was setting goals for themselves, not necessarily to just help themselves, but to help the kids too, to make sure they did what they wanted to do, and it wasn't just all lesson plans that none of the kids wanted to participate in. And that's it. So, are there any questions?
Can Can you tell me about your most challenging day at your internship?
Oh, most challenging day. It was definitely a track event day when it was very hot out. It was a very hot day where we were sitting in the sun, and it was brutal. Like we'd sit outside for like what 6 hours, 5 hours through 5 classes, and it's horrible. Getting burned and having to set up the equipment multiple times because there'd be like the stragglers that didn't come to class that would have to redo the certain event. So definitely resetting up the activities and definitely the sun. Any other questions? Oren?
Did having a previous bond with some students help you feel comfortable there?
Oh, I think it definitely helped me feel comfortable with them, but them too, because it's not like coming from like a working point at Boys and Girls Club. I'm pretty like you're pretty lenient there, so it's like knowing that they like you and you like them makes it easier definitely to communicate not only with them but other kids too, because like if they see that you're hanging around and they knew who you were, other kids would follow and they'd be like, oh yeah, we'll listen too, I guess. So making sure that everybody was safe and everything definitely helped when people knew you. Any other questions? Yep.
I know at the beginning you talked about wanting to go into something in like the physical fitness, whether it be like a gym teacher or a physical therapist. Did this kind of like steer you in any way? Can you see yourself as a gym teacher or?
I think I definitely see myself as a gym teacher, but I always have to because I feel like there's so many things I can do that I want to do that like maybe I'd go to school just to like have that experience just in case like if this didn't work I'd have idea of physical therapy or personal training because it's like I like being active, so anything that'd be physically active for me would definitely be something I'd want to do. So maybe taking classes that like would cover all bases of what I want to do would help.
Yeah.
So yeah, any other questions? All right.
I'm gonna ask one more.
One more.
Between the three of you who were at West Shore, who do you think was like the star intern?
Oh, I think like I'd have to humbly say I was.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the only reason I say that is because I feel like the kids had a closer bond to me, just because I like at Simon Lake I like have the most experience with the kids who are actually there. So nothing against them, they did great, but like they were definitely very good when it came to helping out with everything. So
Great.
Lanya, you had a question?
Well, yes, I do.
Yes.
One that wasn't true, but that's not a question. But so yeah, Derek, what was your favorite activity you did? Or gamer activity, I would say.
Oh, definitely when we had the free week where everybody was able to just like choose what they'd want to do. Like we'd bring out a certain amount of balls and stuff, and they'd either play kickball, football, soccer, whatever they wanted to do, and we'd play some two bounce with the kids, teaching the kids how to play some two bounce basketball games. That was pretty cool. You know, winning is pretty cool too. So, Lewis, you had a question?
Yeah, going back to that internship question, how did this internship actually attribute to your ego?
Oh, well, definitely like middle school kids are pretty sassy. So coming in every morning and hearing peach fuzz and stuff like that lowered my self-esteem a little bit. But you know, I like to take criticism, and you know, it's something that you build off of. So making sure that you could build off that criticism definitely will help you not only in the remainder of your life, but it's just like, you know, I just let it happen. You just let it happen because at the end of the day, it's only criticism. It only helps you. Any other questions? That's it.
Great job,
All right. Thank you.
This is my internship at West Shore Middle School. Hello, my name is Alyssa. It's not 100% finalized, but I will most likely be attending Gateway Community College in the fall. I would most likely be taking general studies and then transfer to another college after my first 2 years are done. My internship site was at West Shore Middle School. West Shore Middle School is a middle school located in Milford, Connecticut. West Shore teaches grades 6th through 8th, and this was my middle school when I was in middle school, so yeah. This is West Shore welcome statement. At West Shore Middle School, we profoundly believe that West is best. This is more than a motto for us. It is a core belief that we instill within our school community on a daily basis. Our faculty strives every single day to provide each and every one of our students with a rigorous education. Furthermore, the West Shore staff works together to foster an environment where all students can reach their fullest potential. As an academic community, it is our hope that students leave West Shore better prepared for their high school, college, and future careers. We also strive to foster a family-oriented atmosphere where every member of our school community is valued, supported, and cared for. This environment is essential to building positive, trusting, and thoughtful relationships among West Shore students, staffs, and families. My internship supervisor was Glenn Maxwell. He was my gym teacher for one of my years at West Shore, so that was cool. He's been teaching physical education at West Shore for over 5 years. He started in my 7th grade year, but he started teaching a lot before that. My internship expectations. Expectations coming into my internship, I thought it was going to be a lot of interaction based, like with the students. So I thought we were just going to be talking with them, maybe doing the activities with them and watching over them pretty much like the whole day. Exciting day, so I thought it was going to be really exciting just coming in and doing physical education with them. And I thought students were going to be very hyper because it was middle school and gym class. I remember I always used to get very excited whenever gym class came. A very chill and fun environment. I thought it was going to be very fun. You know, students were going to be having fun. I was going to be having fun. And setting up time before classes, I thought that was going to be probably one of the challenges because setting up time, you have to be prepared and have to manage that. Responsibilities. My responsibilities when interning included looking after students, so supervising them, you know, watching them, make sure they don't do anything or fight, you know, just have verbal arguments, setting up the activities. We had to do this before every class. We bring it in and then pretty much just do that every class. Officiating, like the student play activities. So when we would do like team-oriented games, we have to officiate and kind of like rule over. Working the scoreboard. When they were doing like score-based games, we have to work the scoreboard, reset it every time, every new game. Sometimes participating. When the teams were a little unfair, you know, Mr. Maxwell had asked us to hop in and, you know, make it a little bit more fair. Skills that I learned from this internship. Interaction skills with the students. I thought this was like a really good skill because if I end up wanting to do physical education, I'm going to need to further this, and I thought that was really good. Preparation time before each class period, definitely improved. Schedule management kind of ties in with the preparation, just managing everything and making sure everything's good to go before every class. Activity creativity, so thinking of like new games for them to play and new units so the students don't get bored. Thought that was very important, and I learned that for sure. How to run a class, just watching over Mr. Maxwell and like as a supervisor and just learning from him of how to run a class. I definitely learned. And then the time management, I think management was like a very big thing that I learned. It definitely furthered like my skills in that department. Challenges that I had when interning include having patience with the students. You know, sometimes they wouldn't listen at first, so you had to remind them again. And at first, when I first came in, it was definitely a little something I had to learn. Students being a little disrespectful. I remember that they were middle school students. I couldn't really talk to them like I talked to like my friends and everything. So you had to be like professional and make sure that they understood that you're an intern and you're not like one of their friends. Being attentive to students all the time, just making sure that you don't get distracted, really. That was definitely a big thing at first. I had to learn not to really just get distracted and make sure that I'm looking after them. And telling students no to certain things, like, you know, especially the younger kids, like if they wanted to play a specific game, but I had to tell them, like, wow, we can't go outside today because we were doing handball. So it was kind of hard to tell them no. And to always be aware of what's happening. You really have to be aware of your surroundings because, again, they're kids, so they could really do some unprecedented things. Why I chose this site? I think one of the main reasons why I chose this site was because it was a middle school that I attended, so it was very comfortable. Another reason was that it was close by, so transportation wasn't going to be a problem. It was like a couple minutes away from my house, and I had my friend to drive me there. The next reason was that I really enjoyed my time at West Shore, especially when I had gym class. I wanted to see what it was like on the other side. You know, to be a teacher and like teach the kids and make it fun for them, I thought was going to be really cool. I also know the physical education teachers at the site, and I thought learning from the teachers I knew better would be better for my experience. So, like knowing them, I would be a lot more comfortable for the both of us, and I thought that was like really valuable. Learning about this field of work that I may want to pursue at this point in life, I thought would be very valuable for me. So if I end up being a physical education teacher, I think this internship will be really valuable for me because I'll have like a step ahead of a lot of the other students attending college, and it'll just be good. How this internship will help me in the future. I think it'll give me an extra step ahead of the future competition coming out of college. You know, I think it'll be on my resume, so it would be, you know, a little boost if I have competition when I'm going for a job. It gave me very important working experience. So working behind the scenes and kind of like watching over Mr. Maxwell, I think that was very good. Helped me build connections that I would not have. So even with the students and the teachers, you know, that could just come in handy, you know, just having that extra connections. Great experience working with kids, like kids that age I don't have a ton of experience with. It's mostly younger kids. So I thought that was really good to see if I want to pursue that age group if I end up teaching physical education. And it definitely improved my responsibility skills. I had a lot of responsibility when working there, so it definitely improved that. And my overall experience at my internship. My overall experience in my internship, in my opinion, was very successful. I learned a lot more than I expected while having a lot of fun at the same time. So prior to this, I didn't really think I was going to learn a ton, but I ended up learning a lot more, especially with the management. Being able to interact with students every day was definitely the best and most valuable experience to me. And like interacting with them it was like really special to me, honestly, because you know you're working with students, and even after a month, it was just like very good. Improving on my communication skills with students is something that I think will prove to be extremely valuable to myself in the future. So if I end up pursuing this, you know, I think doing this internship really helped with what I would want to do and what I think I want to do. Any questions?
I have a question. So I love the slide that you talked about, like your challenges, and I thought that was really well done. But I know that actually all three of you talked about an instance where a student got hurt during a class. Can you just tell that story a little bit? Because I think that's an interesting thing that came up.
This was early on in our internship, so we didn't really experience anything like this before. So we're doing a handball unit, and it was one class. It was kind of like, it was one of the more chaotic classes at the start. So one of the kids ended up getting hurt, and you know everything stopped, and I didn't really know what to do. So I was like, do I go over there? And Miss Fidella, the other gym teacher, was actually doing like evaluations for like sit and reach at the time. So Mr. Maxwell was the only teacher there. So and then we told him, and then should we go get Miss Fidella? And then it was just kind of a confusing experience, but we learned through it. And then even later than that, another student got hurt. So that was something.
Considering that we were Mr. Maxwell and Miss Adele's first internship, like, kids, right?
Yep.
Would you would you recommend this internship to another group of people or another person that might want to do physical education?
I think if someone's wanting to get into physical education or they're even slightly thinking about it, I think it would be great for them, like just to show them like basically what goes beyond like even beyond like the actual like gym class, because I really thought it was a great experience and you learned a lot. Or
I know you said that when you had to tell kids they weren't going outside and had to stay in and play games, they got disappointed. Did you do anything to help with that and try and make it seem more exciting?
I think I did. You know, I'm not too sure they thought that, but I tried to like console them to be like, well, we are playing handball, and last time you were in class, you know, you liked playing it. I remember you were having fun. So I just try to like uplift them because I know that they wanted to do a different activity, but you know, you can't really do anything.
Did you have a particular student that you liked the best, maybe, or that you?
You know, I would have to say I did not.
Mm.
I feel like I grew equally close with a lot of different students, but you know, none of them really like it. It was only like a month,
Yeah.
so I can't really build that much of a connection with like one particular student, unlike Derek, of course.
Yeah. There's no peach fuzz in here.
Yeah, I didn't have the.
No.
Alright,
Any more questions?
Nice job, Lewis.
Thank you.
Great job.
Alright, so this is my internship at Pumpkin Delight Elementary School. Where was I? I was at Pumpkin Delight Elementary School, which is a pre-K through 5th grade school. The classes were in the gym, on the blacktop, or in the field, and we had to adapt to the smaller field because the entire area that's circled was closed due to the renovations because they're building a new gym. Why'd I choose to intern here? I wanted to see if the career path as a PE teacher would suit me because I haven't decided what I want to major in yet in college. And I attended the school in 4th and 5th grade, and I had the PE teacher at the school when I was there, and then as my coach for 4 years here on the soccer team. Who was I working with? Michael Gruber. He was the PE teacher at Pumpkin Delight for 9 years and has been the Law Boys soccer coach for 8 years, and last year he won Coach of the Year. What was my job there? My job was to shadow the PE teacher and just kind of help run the classes. I would help set up games at the beginning, played in games when there was uneven numbers or we were doing kickball and he wanted me to pitch for both teams, or ran the classes for the subs on the couple of days he was out since I knew what we were doing. So we ended up having to do multiple activities those days because some classes were being bad, so we had to bring them inside and discipline them, or with certain classes there's some kids that aren't allowed outside because they might try and run, so we had to adapt to those students. What were my expectations? I was expecting a relatively easy job with minimal work and a basic rules for the game, but besides that, they just had to follow the school rules of being respectful, being safe, and just being good students all around. How was it actually? The gym teachers were a bit more involved. The older kids had more options, so when we were doing basketball with them, they had the choice between knockout, around the world, horse, or 3-on-3s, while the little kids had a game that we picked with relatively strict rules, but we'd allow them to change it in between rounds to see if their ideas would help make the games better. What did I accomplish at Pumpkin Delight? I made connections with the students despite the short time period with them, which also was helped by I had known some of them previously due to being friends and teammates' younger siblings. I learned how to improvise new games when the class situations would change. So with the pre-K classes where the couple of kids aren't allowed outside, if they weren't there that day, we would make a last-second switch and end up bringing them outside and coming up with a game for them. And then running a full day of classes when Coach Gruber had to take a last-minute sick day, and I was able to just let the sub kind of take a back seat, and they would just take attendance, but then the rest of it I would lead. What problems did I face at this school? Lack of respect from some students due to their young age. So I had one kid who was 3 years old swear at me a couple times because they were playing soccer and I blocked his shot. Adapting activities to students with disabilities. So we had a little pre-K girl with Down syndrome, so we'd have to come up with games for their class where she could try and walk and play in them, but if not, she'd still be able to participate while crawling. And just keeping an eye on a different pre-K kid who was nonverbal, because he's allowed to almost do what he wants as long as he's in the class, because it's just making sure he's around people. So our job was to just make sure he didn't try and run away or mess with other kids. And the distracting environment for the students with the ongoing construction. They had taken out a lot of the ceilings so you could hear people from other classes while you were in there. So you would often have to get them to refocus when we were talking to them during the health unit for the 5th grade, or having them go outside or bringing them outside because there was construction work going on right outside the gym. Nobody solved the problems. To solve the problem of disrespect with the older students, I would be stricter with certain classes while I was more relaxed with others where the kids were good. To solve the problems with the disabilities, we allowed the pre-K kids to do their own thing. The older kids, we had someone who couldn't participate in contact sports, and so during kickball and tag games, she would just kind of have to sit out and referee. And there was a student with type 1 to where we would have her check in halfway through the class with her blood sugar just to make sure it was still in range. And to minimize the problems with construction, when we were playing inside the gym due to weather, we would have the music decently loud, that way they weren't just listening to the construction noise. And when we were outside, we adjusted the games to the smaller field sizes, so instead of being able to play kickball on the actual kickball field, we would set up cones for them and have them play in that area.